Straight from the heart of East Tennessee, this is 10 News at 5.
It's a little frustrating, but it's good for other customers.
Some of the nation's biggest banks are reversing their controversial plans to charge customers new fees. Today we're taking a closer look at the reasons for the change. Welcome back to 10 News at 5, everyone. I'm Beth Haynes. Consumer outrage appears to have sparked a drastic 180 on behalf of some of the biggest banks in the nation. It began late last week when JP Morgan, Chase, and Wells Fargo both announced they would not impose new customer fees that had originally been planned. Regions Bank and SUNTRUST followed suit yesterday, both saying they would refund any customers who had been charged the fees already. Similarly, First Tennessee Bank announced this morning they will be dropping their planned fees. And this afternoon, Bank of America, the biggest debit card issuer in the nation, also withdrew plans to charge a $5 monthly fee for their debit card users. The reason given for the flip-flop? Overwhelmingly negative consumer feedback. Some customers had even planned a bank transfer day for this weekend to get as many people as possible to flee big banks in favor of community banks or credit unions. Well, when SunTrust announced its plans to charge new fees, we spoke to one SunTrust customer who was outraged at the change. Polly Breek was facing a monthly charge of $17 on her SunTrust checking account, which ultimately convinced her to switch to a different bank. Today, she says seeing the banks backpedal on the fees came as a surprise.
It is frustrating to see that now they're going to change their mind. It's good that it's going to not affect a lot of people, but I don't feel I wasted my time. I do feel that I was able to really look at my finances and figure out, who is the best place, what is the best bank to go to.
And several of you reacted to Regions Bank announcement yesterday on our WBIR Facebook page. This person said, "Too late. I already switched to Y12 Credit Union and won't go back." But this person wrote, "Since Regions listened to its customers, I think I will stay. It's nice to know some companies do listen, even if it is to save their bottom line and retain their customers." Well, for more on this topic, we are joined by ELLORA DRINNEN, a branch manager with Enrichment Federal Credit Union, and Gavin Baker, Director of Digital Media from Moxley Carmichael. We appreciate you both being with us today. And Gavin, we're going to talk to you in a minute about the role social media play. But ELLORA, I want to start with you. Just your reaction to the bank's sudden change of mind.
I think it's a good thing. I mean, anything that saves the consumer's money is a good thing, and I think that this is certainly something that, has caused a great impact, and they've realized that, we've got to make some changes.
Why were banks leaning in this direction to begin with? Why were they wanting to, I guess, put these new charges on their customers?
To make a long story kind of short, there's been several regulations that have come down, and banks are a for-profit industry, and that's what they're there for. And so they've had to make some adjustments and kind of realign some things to figure out where they're going to make up some ground. I mean, all financial institutions have had to do that.
Now, enrichment banks, you all don't have these charges, and we heard from some customers earlier that have already changed banks. Did you all benefit from these new charges, getting new customers?
We have had many consumers out there that have come in and have been talking about the fees that the banks are charging, and have made that switch to the credit union because we are a not-for-profit organization, and we don't charge those kind of fees.
All right, Gavin, overwhelming response from customers.
Definitely.
How big of a role did social media play in this change of mind?
Definitely a large role. And when we think about what brands are doing online, there's definitely a big impact at monitoring and engaging their customers here. And so when you think about this, customers certainly could email and call their banks, but it was really the impact that people posting on their Facebook pages, sharing that information with each other, with their friends, that created that groundswell that came to what we see today.
We've also seen this with companies like Netflix deciding against some changes because of that customer feedback. Is this becoming a trend, or are people going to have more of a voice now thanks to social media?
I definitely think so. I think the bottom line takeaway here is that the feedback loop is shortened. Brands have the opportunity, who are engaging, can actually engage and respond to customers in a lot bigger and faster way. So you can react and respond so much quicker.
Okay, well, we certainly appreciate you both being with us. ELLORA DRINNEN, a branch manager, with Enrichment Federal Credit Union, along with Gavin Baker, Director of Digital Media with Moxley Carmichael. Thank you all for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate your expertise. And stay with us. We're coming back right after this break.